Hi everybody, let me tell you a new story today. Today's story comes from Lee, who has a friend named Da Wei. They have been good friends since junior high school and has a very close relationship. When they are not busy, they often get together to have a drink and chat. One weekend, not long ago, Lee was off and Dawi called him to have a dinner together. Dawi is a great cook. Whenever Lee goes to Dawi's place for a meal, Dawi prepares all the dishes while Lee buys some alcohol. They were eating and chatting, very happy, around 9:30 p.m. in the evening. Dawi received a call. It was from a friend who works in the shipping services, saying that he was busy and had forgotten to invite Dawi for a drink. Dawi runs a Taobao online store and knows many couriers. The caller was a courier who had known Dawi for a long time. They initially met when Dawi asked him to deliver packages, and later they became good friends after getting to know each other better. Lee shouted to the phone, "Come on over. I'm also a friend of Dawi's, and we can get to know each other." About 10 minutes later, a young man dressed in a courier's uniform arrived. His surname is Luo. He lives in Anjun and is responsible for collecting and delivering packages in Andingmen area in Beijing. David's online store's shipping services are all handled by Luo. Luo is also very talkative, and since they are all the same age, they quickly got into a lively conversation, drinking and chatting happily. Li asked Luo, "Your job involves meeting many people. Have you encountered any interesting stories?" Upon hearing this, Luo seemed to remember something and his mood suddenly dropped. Li said, "Oh, sorry. Did I ask something I shouldn't have?" Luo took a gulp of beer as if making a big decision, and then he told Dawi and Li a story that happened a few years ago. Okay, here is Luo's story. At the end of June 2016, on a rainy day around 8 p.m. in the evening, Luo was about to finish work and was handing over the day's delivery information to his colleagues. Normally, he would deliver a load of packages in the afternoon and then drop off the collected ones at the company before leaving. At that moment, he received a message on the company's work app saying that someone wanted to send a package. It was 7:55 p.m., and the rain was still pouring down, making the roads very difficult to navigate. Luo thought about calling the sender to explain and suggest sending the package the next day. So he called the sender, but the call was very noisy with a poor signal. Luo said, "Hello? Are you the one who wants to send a package?" All he could hear on the other end was static. Luo continued, "Hello? Can you hear me?" Eventually the caller responded, but the call quality remains very poor. The caller was a lady, and it seemed she did not quite catch what Luo was saying either. Luo checked the time. It was already past 8 p.m., his usual quitting time. He sent a text message to the sender, whose phone number ended in 9937, saying, "I am off work now. If you have a package to send, please come to the designated address tomorrow morning. It is still raining heavily. You can call our customer service or cancel the pickup on the app. I will be the first to pick up your package tomorrow." After sending the message, Luo continued to hand over the day's work to his colleague. Around 9 p.m., he said goodbye to his colleagues and was about to leave. The app sent another reminder message for the pickup, still from the number ending in 9937. It seemed that the woman hadn't cancelled the delivery and was urging for a quick pickup. Luo was a bit annoyed. Oh my God, why was she in such a hurry to send the package tonight? However, it was his job. So he tried to call the sender again, but there was no answer after 2 attempts. Law was relieved. Now he had a call log to show for it. He made a note in the app system. Unable to contact the sender beyond service hours. Then he put away his phone and rode home. He lived in Anjing, and as he was approaching the third ring road, his phone rang again. Seeing the number ending in 9937, Luo answered the call, feeling quite annoyed. He had been busy all day and did not want to deal with any more calls after work. Okay, everybody, this is understandable. He intended to patiently explain to the sender and hoped she would cancel the delivery to avoid any complaints. However, to his surprise, this time the call was very clear. He could hear the voice clearly. It was a young girl with a soft, pleasant voice, and she was very polite, constantly apologizing to Luo and pleading with him to pick up the package. She explained that she had to leave early the next morning and absolutely needed to send the item that night. Luo said, but the delivery truck has already left. Even if I pick up the package now, it will have to be sent out tomorrow. The girl replied, It's okay. As long as you pick it up tonight, it is fine to send it out tomorrow. She kept imploring Luo for help with a very sincere and determined attitude. Luo thought that he had nothing urgent to do at home that night, so he agreed to the girl's request and asked for her address. The girl said she was waiting for him at the T-junction opposite Hepingli Hospital. Luo knew the place very well, and it was very close. After hanging up the phone, he rode back. The rain was getting heavier, but the distance was short. It only took a few minutes for Luo to arrive at the junction. The road was deserted, with few cars and no pedestrians. Luo did not see anyone at first, but then he noticed a figure standing under a tree about 100 meters away. Luo thought to himself, Is this the girl who wants to send the package? As he rode closer, he saw that it was indeed a young girl, about 5 feet tall and very thin, standing under the tree with her head down, without an umbrella. Her hair was already soaked. She was wearing a t-shirt and capri pants. It seemed she was cold because she was shivering and rubbing her fists together. When Luo stopped his electric scooter next to her, he realized she wasn't wearing any shoes. Luo asked, Excuse me? Are you the one who wants to send a package? Did you just call me? The girl looked up, her face pale, probably from the cold, and her body was trembling slightly. She tried to speak, but her voice was very soft. And with the heavy rain, Luo couldn't hear her. Are you the one who wants to send a package? Luo asked again, louder this time. The girl's voice was a bit louder now, and Luo finally heard her confirm that she needed to send a package. She apologized and thanked him again. Luo said, It's okay. You just need to fill out a courier form. At that time, it was necessary to fill out a courier form with the recipient's information, the sender's information, and details about the items being mailed. The girl took the form and a ball pen and began to fill out under the cover of Luo's scooter. Luo asked, Young lady, why aren't you wearing shoes? Aren't you cold? The girl did not respond. After finishing the form, she handed it to Luo along with the item she wanted to mail. Luo noticed that the item was a pendant. It was very unique, with a silver border, a net woven from silver threads in the middle, a citrine bead in the center, and a silver feather hung below. It was a very beautiful and exquisitely crafted pendant. Luo recognized it as a Dream Catcher Pendant. Luo also saw the courier form, which was now dotted with raindrops. The girl's handwriting was very neat. The recipient's address was in Zaojun Miao area of Beijing, and surname was Zeng. The phone number was also written down for the sender's information. Only Hepingli Hospital was mentioned. Luo put the form and the Dreamcatcher pendant into a sealed bag. He asked the girl who would pay for the courier fee, and she said, I don't have any money on me. The recipient will pay. Luo said goodbye to the girl and told her to go home early because of the heavy rain. The girl bowed to him and thanked him again. After riding a few dozen meters away, Luo looked back and saw that the girl was still standing under the tree. The rain was still pouring down. Luo was worried about the girl and considered calling her, but then he thought it might not be appropriate. Instead, he launched WeChat and searched for the phone number. Finding the WeChat user associated with it, the name was Han, 18 years old, with a cherry Morocco cartoon image as her profile picture. Luo thought to himself that this must be the girl, so he sent a friend request with the message, I am the one who collected the package just now. He regretted it immediately after he sent the request, fearing the girl might think he had bad intentions. But by the time he went to bed, the friend request had not been accepted. The next morning at work, Luo sent off the girl's package and started his day as usual. 5 days later, during lunch break, one of his colleagues asked him about a particular courier delivery, saying that the company's headquarters was investigating the origin of the package. Luo admitted that he had sent the package but did not have time to ask what was going on before his colleague received a phone call. After the phone call, the colleague said, Luo, the Hepingli police station is looking for you. Go there right now. Luo thought that his work had been complained about. In fact, with a job like this, no matter how well it's done, there might still be some bizarre complaints. He was puzzled and asked, the police station? Why? His colleague replied, just go, I don't know why. Luo knew he hadn't done anything illegal, so he wasn't afraid to meet the police. He rode an electric bicycle to the police station, which was only a 10-minute ride away. 2 policemen greeted him there, one younger, one older. They were very polite and asked Luo a few questions about the courier delivery before leading him to an office. Yeah, not an interrogation room. The room was small, about 10 square meters, with a coffee table and a sofa. When Luo entered the office, there were already people inside. A middle-aged couple in their 40s, and 2 other policemen. The young policeman asked Luo to sit down and poured him a cup of tea before leaving the room. The older policeman then introduced the situation, saying, Luo, let me introduce you to these 2 officers from Zaojun Miao police station. They are here today to understand some details about the courier delivery. Please tell us everything you know. The older policeman from Zhaojunmiao took out a voice recorder, and then he also showed a sealed bag containing the Dream Catcher Pendant Luo had collected. He asked, Luo, do you recognize this item? Luo took one look and recognized it immediately as the pendant the girl had mailed. The policeman then brought out another sealed bag with the courier form in it. The very form the girl had filled in. The ring stains were still clearly visible on it. Luo said, Yes, I recognize these items. This is the package a girl sent the other night. Then he recounted the entire process of collecting the package in great detail, without any omissions or concealments. He described the girl's appearance, her clothes, the fact that she wasn't wearing shoes, his concern after returning home, and even his attempt to add her as WeChat friend. He shared every detail of his interaction with the package and the girl. During his narration, no one interrupted him. The three policemen listened attentively, often exchanging glances with each other. The middle-aged couple, who had been silent from the beginning, were visibly upset. The woman couldn't stop crying, though she tried to hold back her sobs, and her body trembled uncontrollably with tears streaming down her face. The man bit his lip tightly and placed his hand on her shoulder, gently patting her in an attempt to comfort her. It was clear they were both extremely distressed. Once Luo finished his story, the three policemen looked at each other again. The old policeman stood up and said to the other two, Let's step out for a bit and let them talk privately. The other two officers also stood up, took the voice recorder with them, and left the room, leaving Luo alone with the middle-aged couple. What happened next was something Luo would never forget for the rest of his life. The man and the woman were indeed a married couple. The man's surname was Zheng, and he lived in Zhaojunmiao. 5 days earlier, the girl who had sent the package was their only daughter. Her name was Han. And 7 days ago, she had gone to a classmate's house on Xinhua Road. She left the classmate's house around 10 p.m. and decided to take a taxi home, since her home was on the west side of the city. She needed to cross the street to catch a taxi. But as she was walking across the pedestrian crossing, a silver Mazda sped towards her without slowing down or braking, and it hit her, sending her flying through the air. Witnesses nearby called the police immediately, and Han was rushed to the nearest Hepingli hospital. However, due to severe cranial bleeding and extensive brain damage, she succumbed to her injuries after several hours of emergency surgery. The traffic camera at the intersection had captured the entire accident. The Mazda had ran a red light and was fully responsible for the accident. The police were still searching for the driver at the time. These details had nothing to do with law. However, a few days earlier, Mr. Zheng had received a package addressed to him. When he opened it, he found it was a pendant that his daughter loved very much. She had been wearing it on the day of the accident, and the handwriting on the courier form was unmistakably hers. The package had been sent 2 days after her death. The couple was utterly baffled, and Mr. Zheng had reported the matter to the police. The investigation led the police to Luo's company and eventually to Luo himself. Luo was completely stunned. He had indeed sent the package, and the details of the delivery time and the item, a Dream Catcher Pendant, were all correct. The parents of the girl had also asked Luo detailed questions about the girl's appearance, height, and clothing, and they confirmed that it was indeed their daughter. She had been wearing those clothes on the day of the accident. The accident had been so severe that Han had been thrown by the Mazda and her shoes had come off. She had entered the hospital and passed away barefoot. The police had found her shoes in a bush dozens of meters away. Luo had no connection to the case. The police had invited him to the station simply to verify the detail of the courier delivery with Han's parents. Both the parents and the police expressed their gratitude to Luo, but Luo couldn't focus on that. He couldn't believe that the beautiful and lovely girl had sent a package 2 days after her death. The police didn't offer any explanation, and it had nothing to do with Luo. The parents were still grieving the loss of their beloved daughter, but they kept thanking Luo for returning their daughter's belongings. Luo didn't know what to say. He could only offer his condolences and assure them that the police would catch the culprit and bring justice for their daughter. Before leaving the police station, Luo added Mr. Zheng on WeChat. Mr. Zheng said, "If the police catch the perpetrator, I will let you know on WeChat. You are someone who helped my daughter and us." 5 days after returning from the police station, Luo received a message from Mr. Zheng. The perpetrator had been arrested at a hotel in Daxing District, Beijing. The silver Mazda had also been found. The car had been abandoned in Laishui County, Hebei Province. The license plate had been discarded, and the perpetrator had tried to set the car on fire to create a false scene of a vehicle losing control, crashing into a mountain, and then catching fire. However, he could not escape the law. The perpetrator's surname was Tan. He had been driving under the influence of alcohol. After hitting Han and fearing legal responsibility, he fled the scene. He had been on the run, afraid of being caught by the police. He had even attempted to create a fake scene to destroy the vehicle and cover up his crime. When the police finally handcuffed him, he let out a sigh and said to the officers, "Now I feel relieved." After receiving this news, Luo sent many comforting messages to Mr. Zheng. Just as he was putting down his phone, it rang again. He thought it was a reply from Mr. Zheng, but when he checked new messages on WeChat, he saw a notification that Han had accepted his friend request. How could this be possible? Everybody. Han's belongings, including her phone, should have been in the police possession as evidence in a case, and they would not be returned to the family until after the trial. As Luo was pondering this, Han sent him a message with only 2 words. Thank you. Luo replied immediately with several messages, but she never responded again. It seemed as if she had added Luo as a friend just to say thank you. Luo checked the moments on WeChat, which were filled with many pictures and videos, including many photos of the girl. This young and beautiful life had come to an abrupt end just 10 days ago. However, as Luo was about to leave her moments, he noticed a new post, published just a minute ago. The picture showed the beautiful Dream Catcher pendant, and the caption read, "Finally home." Okay, everybody. This is the end of story from Mr. Luo. Thank you so much. Please share what you think of the story and your stories. This is Alex's story time, and I am Alex. I got a lot of stories to share with you. See you next time.